Greetings, and welcome to my humble little office. My name is R. Keith Andrews. I am a spiritual guide and paranormal adept. I'm here to talk to you about some very serious complications where it comes to COVID-19. Now, it's very simple. This is a series I'm doing right now that I simply listed as COVID-19 Wake-Up Call. It's time to get your head out of the sand. Now, I was asked to bring something very clear to mind. We have this funny idea out there that people see COVID-19 as very flu-like. It has one fundamental similarity. That is, it's a virus. So is the flu. The big difference is the flu has a vaccine that works for many people, not for all of them. Okay, and there's a lot of things about vaccines and what have you. But the reality is, there's a lot of ways of dealing with a fire. Okay, you can put a fire out, but if you leave a fire alone, it will eventually burn itself out if you quit putting fuel on it. Now, COVID-19, I am not a scientist. Okay, I do not work for the government. I do not agree with everything the government does, nor with everything the scientists do, but I will tell you this. COVID-19 is a virus, very much like the flu in that respect, in as much as they are both viri. That's it. That's pretty much where the similarity ends. Because neither one, well, okay, here's a couple more similarities for you so that we can get that out of the way. Both the flu and COVID-19 don't care. They've got no concern with who you vote for, who you worship, what color you are, where you grew up. They don't care what your nationality is or your orientation. They have no consideration at all. To quote a movie, they've got no consideration for lawn maintenance. Okay, none at all. They don't pay attention to borders. They don't pay attention to the laws. They don't even pay attention to the boundaries between countries. They really don't. So yeah, we've got a lot of similarities between flu. How are we doing? Yes, flu kills multiple thousands of people every year. Okay, but the thing is, with the flu, its primary time, the people it primarily seems to kill, from my understanding, are the people that already have weakened immune systems, have already got lung problems. Okay, now this does not make it good. I feel for anybody losing somebody. But it would be extremely remiss to let people continue to go, it's like the flu. Okay, well, your similarities are pretty limited and they're pretty weak. Okay, but we've got some pretty severe differences. One being that with the flu, it goes all over the place, and never in recorded history with the flu has virtually every government on the planet gone, let's seal the borders and stop people from dealing with each other. Never in recorded history, as far as I recall. And if somebody finds a recorded part of history that is recorded that says there was a flu epidemic, that every country on the planet sealed the borders and said, stop traveling. Okay, shut down businesses and shuttered businesses and said, stay away from these places. Okay, the flu's never done that. COVID-19 has. COVID-19, countries around the world, whether you like the country or not, whether you like the politician or not, doesn't matter. Around the world, they are turning around and saying, shutter the place, close the doors, stop traveling, stay home. Now, as the saying goes, okay, and there's an old saying that goes, rice has got to be a good food. Because, 1 billion Chinese people cannot be wrong. Okay, well, right now, we happen to have about 8 billion people. That's a little more than what's there, but we can go with it. There's about 8 billion people out there going, let's seal the doors. Now, if you're one of these people that's pushing because your economy is in trouble, look at buying online. Talk to your, apply for the assistance that governments around the world are doing their best to help with. See, here's the thing that people don't get. If the government wanted you out on the street, they certainly wouldn't be trying to help with mortgages, with stopping people from getting evicted. If they wanted you to go bankrupt, they wouldn't be offering ways of getting around the bank, of postponing payments, not eliminating them, okay, but simply postponing them. If they wanted you on the street, they wouldn't be doing these things. So reach out and ask for the assistance that is available. Now, I'm not a good one to go and ask for help from anybody, except one detail in this case. I'm directly asking you, the listener, to do 3 major things. 1, like my video, subscribe to my channel, and share the whole thing. And share the videos and the information with everybody you can find. Okay. That'd be the first thing. Number 2, follow the guidelines that are being laid out. They may not be perfect. They are being changed as they go along. Because, like it or not, even the best of the politicians, the ones that are doing their part to make things happen, the brightest scientists, they are learning as they go, and they still have this cute little problem. They're all human. Well, the majority of them anyway. Okay, so follow the guidelines that are out there. And number 3, look to the bright side of things from the standpoint of every major dilemma that people have gone through in all of recorded history. We've bounced back. We've come back from it. But get off the idea that the flu and the COVID are similar viri. They are not. Okay, I've listed off the primary similarities. The thing is, COVID-19 is a complication unto itself. Okay, now, you can argue the point that most people are living through it. That's great. But what are you going to wait for before you get it through your head that going out and collecting and congregating with a bunch of people is a brilliant idea, is not a brilliant idea? When you go and get it through your head, when there are dozens and dozens of people in your own neighborhood dropping dead, is that what it's going to take for you to pull your head out of the sand and realize this is a bad idea? Now, I do caution you. Okay, there are politicians out there that are pushing just as hard as you are to get the bans lifted, to get the travel restrictions lifted, to get the congregating rules lifted. Those politicians, they may well be great for business in the short run, but they're going to end up killing off half of your population. Now, that is an overstatement, but it wouldn't be a shock from my end. Okay, this, by the way, I'm going to, for this particular purpose, lump your politicians and your religious leaders, especially the clergy that are working in actual churches, in actual temples. And this definitely goes towards the people that are out there saying, let's get everybody together. This is a great idea if you're trying to kill everybody off. If you're one of these people hoping for this pandemic to wipe out massive chunks of population, then yeah, I can certainly see why you would be going, let's remove the restrictions. Myself, there's a lot of people I do not get along with. Okay, primarily because I'm outspoken. Okay, and am I going to apologize for it? Sure. I'm sorry, Europe. If you're upset because I'm saying, if you fall into the category of, if you're one of these politicians that is saying, we need to remove the boundaries and get the economy up and running, if you're upset that I'm telling you that is absolutely the most irresponsible thought line you can have that I can think of offhand, if that upsets you, oops. If you're one of the politicians that isn't doing that, then absolutely it's not going to upset you. At least I can't see it upsetting you if I'm telling you that somebody else is doing an absolutely irresponsible thing. Very short-sighted. Now think of this. And this is where the economy really gets hit. Especially for the politicians and the clergy that are out there saying, oh, we should be able to congregate because our religious rights, you're infringing on my religious freedoms. brilliant idea, and I'm sure God, whoever you worship, will thank you for standing up and saying I've got the right. But you do realize that dead people don't work well. Okay, so if you're upset that I'm saying, telling people to break past the barriers and throw the boundaries out the window, well, oops. Now, that said, okay, I am working to reach as many people as I possibly can. So I do encourage you to spread the word that that is what I'm here to do. I'm not planning on rocking the boat. In all fairness, I wasn't planning on stepping out of the closet at all for this. I became a recluse decades ago because I couldn't tolerate the stupidity of people. And yes, I call it stupidity. People know better. You know if you've got a weakened immune system, or if you are ill, you know going around people is irresponsible and threatens them. Okay, you know that there's a lot of things going on, and we can go with all the conspiracies on the planet you want. Take your pick. Let's start with the obvious. What you can't see, COVID-19 will kill. You may be one of the lucky ones. Lord knows I probably am. Okay, primarily because I've got an immune system myself that is just insane. I'm not immune to everything. Instead, I get the neat little fun part. I don't bother with the flu, with the colds, that sort of thing. I just don't. I don't have allergies. A lot of immunities. But what I'm not immune to, as it turns out, is heart attacks and strokes. Not interested in any one of those. So, if you're out there saying, get out there and let's remove the boundaries, you have got to rethink. Well, I guess you technically don't have to rethink, but understand, I'm not about to apologize and tell people that I should be more relaxed and more supportive of the economy and what have you. Ain't gonna happen. Okay. I'm not the most eloquently spoken individual. I'm not the most educated. Okay, as a matter of fact, a lot of the issue that I run into, because many people would not like the way I speak in private. They would take great offense to it, because I don't worry about the words that I say in private. Okay. However, I know somebody out there is going to take something that I said, take it right out of context, and go, "This is what you said." Understand? I'm already aware of that, and this is just a sideline here. I used to get forced, or I consider to get forced, to apologize for things I didn't feel were worth my apologizing for. I didn't feel I should have to apologize. Okay, so I came up with an interesting way of apologizing. Okay, and all I would do if I was forced to apologize for something, I would literally tell people, please accept my most insincere apology to date. Okay, so if that's the kind of an apology you want from me, absolutely knock yourself out. Okay, I'm not about to apologize for the way I see the world. I've been told I'm off my rocker for what I see. Until about 30 years after they find out, at which point it tends to be found out that it was actually on the money. Now, you can do with that what you will, but I will tell you, okay, first and foremost, the flu and COVID, the only functional thing they have in common is they're both viruses. So much for English. Okay, that's pretty much where the similarity ends. Okay, they do not react the same way. If they reacted the same way, there would already be a mass-produced antivirus out there. And for those of you that are out there going, they're trying to force us into a inoculation so they can infect us. You do realize that, first of all, the politicians need you alive if they want you to vote for them. Okay, if they're doing a mass inoculation, okay, that means they're hitting everybody. They're not checking voting cards. They're not checking ages. Okay, so you have to look at the economy itself. Okay, The economy is very simple. It's changed. It is not going back the way it was. Hopefully you people will get your heads out of the sand and realize that if you desire the economy to get up and running, work with what's available. Work with your mail order. Work with your order in. Okay, there's a lot of people on the front line that should be absolutely patted on the back. Okay, they should absolutely be patted on the back and told, thank you for doing what you are. When I am out, because I try and go for a walk every day. Okay, but there's a park right near me. It's literally across the street. And I do keep my social distance, okay, from the people that I do have to meet. But every time I run into one of the workers out there, I take the time to thank them. Okay, I'd love to go, I'd love to talk longer from that standpoint. But the reality is, the people that are working to help, absolutely, thank you so much. The people that are being selfish, that are being short-sighted, and have this holier-than-thou attitude that God loves me more than everybody, so he'll protect me. You know, there is a saying in the Bible, that, and I'm pretty certain it says it in other tomes as well, but the Bible's the one I know. Somewhere in the Bible it tells you God helps those that help themselves. Well, your governments are stepping up and laying down contingencies, and the health organizations are stepping up and saying, okay, we screwed up on some of it and didn't jump on it fast enough. Oops. But here's what we can do to try and mitigate that problem. That's the help. Now, if you turn your back on it, okay, what are you going to tell whoever you end up running into? Okay, I don't know what your religious background is. Mine, I've mentioned before, I was actually baptized Roman Catholic and brought up broadband Protestant. I was brought up in the Protestant church on a military base. Okay, and this virus does not care what your background is. I've got a lot of respect for the people that are in the military. In all fairness, it's because of people in the military that I have the freedom to be able to say what I'm saying without getting hung and barbecued and, strung up. Okay, it's because of their efforts. It's because of the researchers' efforts that there is any sort of a prayer of dealing with the virus and the symptoms of it. Right now, they're dealing with symptoms. Okay, and you people that are going, we want our economy back. We want our right to congregate back. We have the right to peaceful protesting. Well, you probably do. But if you're all dead, it's a whole lot peaceful and more peaceful. Okay, so get off the idea that that the politicians are right and let's open the doors. Because quite frankly, the politicians that are telling you we're going to push to have these boundaries removed and get all the businesses open. I don't know entirely what's going on in the States. I get some information and very little from the other countries. In Canada, however, I do know this. They are starting at looking at opening up some businesses. Now, this I just get through the grapevine because, like I said, I don't look at the news. I catch a little bit on Facebook, but for the most part, I don't pay attention to much of it. Because what I find is I can't tell who's got the accurate information. The fact that people are saying that the mainstream media is not revealing the truth and the government isn't. Well, neither is a lot of the clergy that are out there saying, that are out there going, God will protect us. God will, we should be able to congregate because that is our religious right. Well, it probably is. So worship in your own home. There's enough video systems out there. And my understanding is that there's a number that are popping up that are also trying to compensate, to give you ways of staying in contact. The one thing that the computer has done that is very beneficial in my eyes is it enables people to actually see each other when they're talking, much better than the phone. Okay, now I'm a bit of a dinosaur in a lot of ways. Okay, but the one thing that just irks me to no end is the number of people that go, this is just a fake, it's all just a fraud, it's all being blown out of proportion, and we need to get the economy back up and running back the way it was. Well, back the way it was is what has caused it in the first place. And no, I don't expect you to believe me on that. Everybody seems to, the majority of people seem to be looking to point the finger at somebody. Tell you what, here's a neat little idea. Attitude is everything in this case. So if you want to point the finger at somebody that has something to do with the way the economy is and the evolution of COVID, find a mirror, point at the person in the mirror and go, you're partially responsible. Okay. And, the reality is, this is something that has been created by society. I stepped back and did my best to ignore society. I can't do that anymore. Okay. And, quite frankly, I really don't care who you want to worship, what you want to talk, what you want to see as life and death and all that. I don't care. I'm not the one that has all of the answers. Okay. I will tell you, my goal right now, at this point, and trust me on this one, no, don't. Just, you're going to have to work with it. This was a decision for me to finally start pushing the idea of getting out in the public via the internet and starting to tell people it's time to wake up, pay attention. If you've got questions, absolutely ask me. I will do my best. The reason I did this particular video on the similarity, with the primary focus on the similarity between the flu and COVID, is because somebody I was talking to asked me to. I had a comment the other day actually I caught it this morning, by somebody that had seen one of these videos on the wake up call, and they literally told me they wish the videos were longer. Well, as I explained to that person in particular, I keep them short because people are busy. Besides that, attention spans can get a little sketchy. Okay, in case you hadn't noticed, I bounce around a lot. That's just me. Okay, a lot of things on the go, a lot of things are changing. This is the time not to rebuild, but to build new. Change the way you're looking at the world, because the old way doesn't work anymore. It's not coming back. You will find some people still get stuck in that old way, but those people are going to find things change. They're going to have a harder time of it. Frankly, the politicians that are going, we've got to remove the boundaries. We've got to just give everybody back their freedom and their right to move and do what have you. Okay. I would be absolutely appalled if many of them got reelected. Okay, because if they're that concerned about the dollar and that little concerned about the people that are actually trying to earn the dollar, you got to wonder who you're putting your faith in, or your trust in. And for the religious leaders that are telling you, I've got a connection with God, and God will protect us. Well, got news for you. You might want to consider who you're listening to. Okay, there's a very simple term. God loves everyone. Call him what you will, because it tells you, even in the Christian Bible, it tells you that God loves everyone, and that God is known by many names. Now, I'm not going to get sidetracked on that. I'll come back to that one in another video. Okay, but for the moment, understand where it comes to COVID and the flu. Yes, they are both viruses. Neither one of them have any consideration for your background, your heritage, your political alignment, your sexual orientation, your age, your bloodline. Neither one of these illnesses really pay any attention to it. Neither one of them check IDs to find out who you're related to. Okay, they just don't. Okay, they are both microscopic in nature. Okay, these are similarities that these things have. Okay, the differences are mind-boggling. But, that being said, that's where the similarity ends. So, Can we get away from the idea of it's the same sort of a thing? No, it isn't. Okay, get that straight. Now, I'm going to bring this one to a close, and we'll get back to the next video. And in all likelihood, it is going to end up being the issue of the religious side of it. Okay, which is a battlefield I really didn't want to go into, but apparently I'm being dropped into it. So, for the time being, take care of yourselves and each other, and for pity's sakes, stay positive.